Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
So this was a exclusive that we did today. It's got some sticky stuff in there. Again, we want to give thanks to our patrons and everybody that's supporting us on YT memberships as well. Couldn't do it without you guys. So BlackRock's dumping hundreds of millions worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum. What's going on? Yeah. I mean, again, Bitcoin has been very, very volatile. Crypto has been very, very volatile. For many people, it seemed like crypto was inevitable. Yet, what's really going on? Will it end up completely failing, or is it, still inevitable that we will have the ability to utilize various cryptos, or will we end up being forced to use some sort of CBDC? What's the difference? Well, again, the CBDC is issued by a central bank, a digital currency. It does seem that many people believe the dollar's death is very near, and perhaps we will be going to digital currency in 2026. We will probably see relatively soon, but right now it's pretty volatile out there. Same thing with silver and gold hitting records and then retreating. It's such a game that is being played. It's hard to beat. It's almost impossible. Is it impossible to beat? The casinos. Can you go into a casino and when people do, but not often. It's the same thing with the banking system because it's a system that's rigged against us, the average people.
So when I did work in the casino, I did learn a little trick from the casino mechanics, the slot machine mechanics, and they would put their loosest machines on the outside perimeter and near the doors where people could see that they do pay out, that they do win. So I don't know if you could parallel that to the bigger picture. They do seem to put people out there that do look like they're winning at life where other people can see to keep us buying into it. So if that made sense, I think, we're being played basically, and we probably always will be. And the only way to not be played is to pad yourself, to buffer your own world.
And of course, they sell you that the winners in life are those that acquire the most things, but they are some of the most miserable people in the world when you get down to it. And we only have to look at our politicians and many of the head CEOs and COOs of various companies. Again, people's lives don't seem to matter as much as profits in this corporate world that's out there. You have a landslide triggered a mine collapse, kills more than 200 people. This is in the Congo. And, it's just horrible what's still going on with humans and mining. And boy, does that just go right back to the Anunnaki situation. Blood diamonds, you've heard of those type of movies that were out there. When we look to the lithium mining, again, that's another horrible thing that goes on all the time. And, these people work in substandard conditions. And, it just seems like it's always viewed like their lives are so expendable. It's just horrible. Meanwhile, homes on the verge of collapse, a 2.5-mile landslide destabilizing the hills above the Gela Plain in Italy. And, we're talking about Nishemi. This is in Sicily. Storm Harry triggered a major coastal landslide, and the situation keeps getting worse. So again, we're sending prayers and positive energy over there as it's just an ongoing situation with more homes being lost all the time. Did you hear this? This is, there are reports out there that the Mississippi River lost 47% of its water in 3 days. Now, we did discuss this briefly with Arwayne Steiger in the last live that we had with him, I believe. Or I think it was the live before last. Okay. The interesting part is when you follow the Mississippi, it seems to be disappearing like after St. Louis. It's disappearing at a certain place. And where is it going? Very, very curious situation. What is going on with this situation? I was looking over here at current conditions for the Mississippi. And yeah, there are areas in drought and some areas in flood. But, again, sometimes it's hard to get clear answers on things. As you look at the legend, there's not a lot of color in there. As you can see, no flood, not any sort of major action. But reports, again, of missing water as you go farther down the Mississippi, which, again, exits between Louisiana and the state of Mississippi. It gets people thinking right away. I mean, can there be something going on with the New Madrid fault? Can there be something going on with, it disappearing underneath our feet? And will it show up later? Will the Mississippi River turn into the Mississippi Sea, as was forecast by Edgar Casey, in what feels to be times similar to this?
I know it really feels like that water somehow is going to an area that in some ways it's getting lost. Like there, I see the ground moving underneath and the water is going there. And then from there, I don't know where it's going. So it's very suspicious.
Well, again, it takes a lot of water with these data centers, takes a lot of different resources with the data centers. So I find it curious how all these things kind of tie in together. There is a Chinese ZQ-3RB rocket stage expected to re-enter the atmosphere over Europe today. So here you go. If you see a UFO, it might not be a UFO. Could just be a rocket coming back to Earth. And here you see the trajectory. So, perhaps over Scotland, perhaps again over Poland, Germany, Denmark, Netherlands. Again, keep your eyes open. Maybe you'll see it or maybe you won't, but maybe you'll see something else. Maybe you'll see somebody like a visitor watching the situation. This is in Iran. An unknown bright object is seen hovering over the sky. No movement from the object yet. Seems to twinkle. Again, we have Cindy that could tap into the energies of the object.
Well, this one I picked up is his own entity, and it really, honestly, it felt very much like an angel trying to make contact with those on the ground.
Yeah, there are a lot of beings that watch us all the time, and when there could be a war type situation popping up in an area, a lot of time there's curiosity from non-human beings, beings of the angelic realm, or ETs as well, or interdimensional beings sometimes. Now we have that whole phenomena of plasmoids, beings that are made from plasma. It's starting to become something that people are talking about more. And meanwhile, panic in Tehran as unexplained explosions hit across Iran. Yeah, this is a curious situation to say the least. There's more than 4. There was actually 7 different cities that had explosions occur, and it's weird because it seemed like they were trying to explain things as gas leaks, but people are saying it's not gas leaks. There were no gas pipes going into the building. Somebody wrote something about love the Shah. Again, the Shah used to be the former leader of Iran before the Islamic Revolution. So Tehran, Bandar Abbas, Tabriz, Parand, Kashem, Naushar, and Ardabil have all had explosions, all within hours. Neither the U.S. or Israel has said anything about it, but it was definitely coordinated. So, what was the case? Was it sabotage? Could it be a combination of different things? Bandar Abbas, confirmed by AP and Reuters, explosion destroyed 2 floors of a building, at least 4 dead. Iran says gas leak, but Bandar Abbas is a major IRGC naval port. This is the Iranian Republican Guard. And Iran is specifically denying reports that a Navy commander was targeted. In Parand and Avaz, reports of explosions, some sources now walking them back, unverified. Ooh, is people trying to confuse people and cause panic and chaos? I wouldn't be surprised. Of course, we have all the U.S. military with the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Group there in that area. Iran announced live-fired naval drills today with Chinese and Russian ships. Israel authorized Operation Iron Strike on January 5th, and nobody's commenting. So is it just like sabotage from within? Because you have this Iranian Guard General Tangsiri was eliminated in a drone attack on Bandar Abbas. So that's weird. This, like, I don't know if that's my tablet just starting to talk on its own on the other side of the room.
Okay.
That's really weird. In between the two chairs. Very, very weird. So, yeah, things have been acting really weird. I have not been able to get anything to upload to Rumble or to Brighteon. Usually we upload to Rumble, Brighteon, and BitChute. And just so you guys know, BitChute has cut back on the length of a video. So if it's any longer than 20 minutes, we can't upload it. And we've had issues today with Brighteon and Rumble, and yesterday too. So it feels like they're going to an all-new stage of, censorship in some areas. So you have China deploying the Liaowang electronic reconnaissance giant to damage American aerial weapons accuracy against Iranian soil. China plans to protect Tehran's sovereignty with high-tech weapons or Type 55 destroyers. Definitely something to watch. As you see, this was put out by the Iranian Defense Force saying this is the red line. Here we go. Well, the red line is when Russia and China get directly involved. A powerful cosmic signal just reached Earth. A significant surge of cosmic rays were detected in the past 24 hours. Data from the Bartol Research Institute shows a sharp spike in particle activity standing out from normal background levels. Oh, there's a lot happening right now. As far as energetically with downloads again from the sun, I know the Schumann was just raising up and starting to have a little whiteout there. It's all about the awakening consciousness on planet Earth, as so many people on planet Earth have been just sleepwalking like zombies throughout their existence.
I know, that's just what's been going on for so long.
And it's been like a spell put on the population. Thousands of popular products recalled over rodent contamination. Diet Coke, Nutella, Fruit Loops, Pringles, Cheerios, Folgers Instant Coffee, Sour Patch, Fiji Water, Jolly Ranchers, and Skittles are just some. Other things as well. Benadryl, Claritin, Advil, Purina Dog Chow, Purina Cat Chow. All sorts of different stuff. Now, we don't use any of that. Not one single item. Hopefully you guys aren't either.
No, I know. It's bad news.
Yeah, absolutely. So much of the food is just pure toxic. Now, this is insane, but this is really what goes on in the UK. In case you haven't heard, he's saying that they're coming to his house to check if he has a TV license, and now they're threatening to prosecute me. I ignored the letter. Now they say an officer could show up, I could be fined, or even go to prison because you haven't paid for a TV license at your address. Is this not insanity? But yet it's not a joke. And this isn't a joke either. Millions of Californians furious after Democrat officials plan attacks on miles driven, ranging from $1,200 to over $4,000 per year on families. Wow. So you could see when you look and life in these left-leaning places is very expensive and it's full of rules.
Well, is it not enough that gas is already expensive? They pay taxes on everything else, and now this.
Yeah, gas, what I see is about $2.20 to $2.40, and I know it's way more than that in California. Here you have retired Lieutenant General William Jerry Boykin and former commander of U.S. Army Delta Force claiming U.S. forces encountered Djinn-like entities and UFOs during operations in Somalia. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And in fact, there's similar stories with reptilian beings in the Vietnam War time. In fact, again, if you've been with us for a long time, you probably remember when I first showed this. This was from a video we did in the Hattiesburg, Mississippi area, in which all these sheep and goats were eventually they were killed by something, and we think it was this, which looks to be a being made out of fire. We were camping right across from this. I didn't even notice that I had filmed this. It was our family members that said, you caught what looks to be a being made out of fire across the pond by the goats and the sheep that were there. And it was just a crazy experience that we've shared with you guys numerous times. And, it's not the first time we've had that type of experience. So you pay a little extra for 2 sticks of Kerrygold grass-fed butter and you think you're getting something good? Nope, they're using GMO corn and soy. Yeah, Kerrygold is not a good one.
No, it's another one where they say it's good, but you have to look deeper.
Yeah, and a lot of people are getting very sensitive and just knowing as soon as you eat it that it's not good. Orphan train songs, right? Folk songs talking about a mud flood. It's sad, they say, there's been a flood, file washed away in Missouri mud. Both of these songs were written by actual orphans who rode the orphan trains. Orphans who rode the trains remembered the flood of mud. Why was it erased from our books? Why was it erased from our books? But there are brief, mentions of things like raising cities that had to be done in multiple places around the United States, for instance, because of floods of a muddy kind.
Indeed.
This is just, again, part of our hidden history that is so fascinating. Sometimes, things are so stressful and scary out there, you just got to take your whoopee or maybe your teddy out for a walk, just in case.
Just bring your bestie. They want to go anyway.
And bundle up, if you are on the eastern half of the U.S., another cold blast is well underway. Very cold out there. Potential for some snow in the Carolinas and Virginias and probably farther north as well. As always, guys, we give you thanks for being part of this family. Look forward to your comments. May you all be blessed and kept safe, happy, and free. Source bless. Namaste.
Namaste.